J. Cole song, but I ain't J.
Today
Cole
we're going to
song.
talk about how to use track, what is it called? Track freeze and commit. And mostly you do this when you get to a point where you're running out of processing power. Um, I told you before on a different episode or a different tutorial that you can do this by using busing. But if you don't use busing or if you don't want to use busing, you can also do it this way if you have the recent versions of Pro Tools, like anything probably above Pro Tools 10. Otherwise, you have to bus if you have processing powers or problems. All right, so let's get to this session. So this session, I'm not. Let me play it for a second.
It's just another sunny day in California.
So I'm not really having processing problems, but let's say I had, I don't know, 5 more tracks and I wanted to put these plugins on 5 more tracks, I would start to have them. And let's just duplicate this 5 more times and let's see what it says. Try duplicate. Let's do it 5 more times. Okay. All right. So when you do too much, like I just did, um, I have a Apollo twin. So basically, this is too much power for the processing power for the uh, Apollo twin to handle. So it's going to shut off some of them. So I don't want to learn about it, but some of these aren't working. It doesn't tell you which one, but they're not. So say I needed to do this, and I had this many more tracks. What I would do is use uh, track commit or freeze. So these are highlighted. These are the new ones that I just did. They have the plugins that I want on them, so I don't need to adjust the plugins or anything like that. So what I'll do is go to track and I'll do let's do freeze first. So freeze. No. Let's see that warning came up again. Let's see if that was enough because I might not have frozen enough tracks. But what it allows you to do is pretty much just just um, in essence uh, it's kind of I guess it kind of bounces them out with the effects on them, but it just keeps them like in place. It doesn't look like it's bounced out. You'll see it just grades out all the plugins, so they're not really being used. But it's kind of like the effect of bouncing them out without bouncing them and saving processing power. And it kind of allows you to do, like, if you have a large amount of tracks, just do them kind of in sections. So you like mix 5 tracks and then freeze them. Mix the next 5 tracks, freeze them. And you could still use, all your, you can use all the plugins you want on all of them. So I didn't do enough. All right, so you see how it's kind of grayed out. So you can't do anything to them, but they're still going to play. I mean,
Coronavirus got these people on you. Money low.
but that's I I did the same track 5 times, so that's really loud. So basically, in order for me to do more tracks, like in order to like, I could like if all of these are mixed, I could just freeze these two and just and once I do that, I shouldn't get the error anymore. So let's freeze. Okay, you can't freeze something that doesn't have any. Um, it won't let me freeze this one because it's a blank track. Okay. So now we are not getting that message anymore. So I could keep recording. I could add more tracks, and I could keep putting plugins on them, and it won't mess with the.
Money low.
It's really loud. Um, well, whatever. I can't adjust the volume while they're frozen. And it'll allow you to continue. See, it's not using very much processing power, and you know you don't have to worry about it. Now, when you're ready to unfreeze them, when you're ready to unfreeze them, and you don't need to unless you need to alter them some type of way. But you go to track and just say unfreeze, and they'll unfreeze. Same thing with these. But when I unfreeze them, that that thing will come up again. That warning, because it's too much for it to handle. Now another option is to, and we'll do, we'll actually I'll just delete these for you don't really need them. But another option is to commit. When you commit, it's a little different because it'll create a whole nother. Um, well, I'll show you. So you commit, it will hide this track and make it inactive, and it'll bounce a new track out right there with no plugins on it. So it's a little different. It's more. It's not permanent, but it looks more permanent. Um, and it sometimes is easier to work with, especially when if you want to send out stems or anything, or and you want your plugins to be already like on the track. You can commit to it, and it'll bounce your track out with the plugins on it. So you'll see. Okay, so you see how there's no effects on here now, but all your auto tune, everything is already in here. It's just bounced out like that. So it's a new track. It's basically a bounce, and so you're not using any processing power for this now, and it still has all your effects on it. Now, if you want to change it, if you like made a mistake or you do actually want to adjust something, then what you do is you mute this one, and that track that you just got rid of is over here, just hitting. So you click it, and it's right here. And all you have to do is make it active again. Make active, and it's back. And then you just would basically delete that one. this track, and then you could adjust it again. And so this you only really need to do this if you're running out of processing power, or if you want to send these tracks to someone else, but you're not sure if they had effects or whatever, but you want your effects to be like printed on there so that they know how you want it, and you don't want to mess with it. Although they can if they want. If you just send them, the stems, then they can't do anything, and your effects are already printed onto that track. And if you want that to happen like that, then that's what you do. But usually, if you're going to send it off to get it mixed by someone else, you don't want to do that. You want to let them put their effects on it and everything. But other than that, it's just another way to get around having processing power issues on your computer, and that's what you use track freeze, or that's what I use track freeze and track commit to accomplish. All right, till next time.